Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see everybody this morning. Welcome to Live at 11 with Thrive Vineyard Church. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. As you can see, I am outside, and I am not outside in Illinois where we live. I'm outside up in Wisconsin where Molly's parents have a house on a lake, and we're here to celebrate Independence Day. We're here to celebrate the 4th of July, and so I think we're going to have a really, really nice time. It's July 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th, and we will be back at church for Sunday morning on July 5th, and we're having people gather back up again at Thrive, and so we're going to do our services outside, and we're going to have two services, one at 8:30 and one at 9:45, and we're encouraging you guys to come if you're comfortable. And if you do choose to join us for those services, we want you to register online at thrivevineyard.com. And we're just going to have a wonderful time. If you're not quite ready to meet in person, we completely understand. But we're meeting outside because it's safer to meet outside. We're social distancing 10 feet apart. So we're going to do everything that we can do to keep us all safe and protected. At the same time, though, we're just so excited to be together. And we're excited to worship and to fellowship and hang out and dig into the Word. So we're just ready for this. But we'll still be streaming all of our stuff, so you'll be able to watch it at home just like you have been. But what are you guys doing for the 4th? What are you guys doing in your celebration this year? I know that it's going to be different this year for pretty much all of us, right? We won't be able to do the normal gatherings with large groups of people. We won't be able to do those big cookouts that we're used to doing. There won't be fireworks this year, as far as I can tell, with large crowds of people. So all of that stuff will be different this year because of coronavirus. And so we won't be able to gather. But I want to encourage us, and I want us to think about the idea that God is actually wanting to use this time where we're kind of set on the sidelines again, to do something really powerful and really particular. God is clearing the way so that we, the church, can build rather than just celebrating our independence this year, rather than just having a big 4th of July party. God is actually inviting us, calling us believers, those of us that are Christians, those of us that are carriers of the kingdom, those of us that have the person of the Holy Spirit dwelling in our hearts. He is calling us not to celebrate with a party July 4th this year, Independence Day this year. He's actually calling us to do something far more profound, far more impactful, something that will actually change our country, something that will actually bless our country. And let me share with you what he intends to do with us this 4th of July, this Independence Day. Okay, so how will we celebrate it? It's not going to be with a party this year. It's not going to be with fireworks necessarily this year, but we are called, you guys, to speak blessing and to speak life over our country with great effect, with great impact. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verses 1 and 2 says this, and I want us to get a hold of this. It says this: I urge you then, this is Paul speaking, first of all, that petitions and prayers and intercession and thanksgiving be made for all people, but particularly for kings and for those in authority. Now, for us, that would be the translation would be for presidents and for those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. I'm gonna read that again because I really want us to get this into our heart and into our spirit. I urge you then, first of all, that petitions and prayers and intercession and thanksgiving be made for all people, but particularly for presidents and for those in authority. I changed kings to presidents there, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. Now, I know that those of us that are attending Thrive, those of us that are listening to this message, we run the gamut in terms of our perspective on President Trump. We run the gamut in terms of whether or not we're Democrat or Republican, but none of that stuff matters more than the fact that we are called to pray for and to give thanks for those that are in authority. And so this year, as we don't have a huge party to go to, this year, as we don't have 2.5 hours of fireworks to drive off to do some, to go somewhere, this year, God has opened up a space for you and I to speak blessing and to pray for and to give thanks for President Trump, for those in our all of our elected officials, our congressmen, our senators. We are called to speak blessing and to speak life over them, to give thanks for them, because when we do that, we will actually not just be throwing a party to celebrate something, we'll actually be making America a better place. We'll be speaking blessing, and God backs that up. God will back up the words that we speak. I'm going to remind you guys that in Matthew chapter 16, verse 19, Jesus said, I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. You and I, as followers of Jesus, we have been entrusted with, given the keys of the kingdom of heaven. This is important stuff, because with those keys comes great power. With those keys comes an ability in us to make a difference, to make a change, to make an impact in the world around us and in our country. So he says, I give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. And so the point is Jesus says, speak life over your leadership, speak life over your country, speak blessing over the country, bind the plans of the enemy, bind the work of the enemy, because if you bind the work of the enemy over America, if you bind the work of the enemy over our elected officials, over President Trump, and if you speak blessing and you speak life and you speak peace and you speak wisdom and godliness over our elected officials, God is going to back that up. And instead of just having a party that at the end of it, we said we had a great time. Some of us might say, I don't feel very good because I drank too much. Instead of doing something like that, let's do something that has power. Let's do something that has incredible impact in our country. God's making a way for us to speak into the life of our country, to speak into the life of our president. And it doesn't matter whether you like him or you don't like him. Our job as prophets of God is to speak the words of God, to speak the life of God, to speak the heart of God and the message of God over our country, over our elected officials, over our president. And if we will join with God's voice, if we will begin to see America the way that he sees America, we're going to see America become a better place. We're going to see America become a more godly place. We're going to see America thrive in a way that it didn't last year, because we actually have been speaking blessing and interceding and giving thanks for our country. It's a better way to celebrate, because it's a way that God backs up. It's a way that has power to it. So as much as I would love to be able to go out and watch fireworks and spend time with all my friends and family and things like that, but this is not that year. This is the year that we contend for a better America. This is the year that we contend for blessing and for thriving and for God's kingdom to come and his will to be done on earth, in America, in our elected officials, just as it is in heaven. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that's helpful to you. I hope you'll join me in contending and praying and giving thanks and speaking blessing and life over our country tomorrow, because that's what we're going to be doing in the Kiefer House. All right. I love you. God bless you. Have a great day. We'll see some of you guys in person on Sunday. Some of you will see live on Facebook or on YouTube, and whatever it is. We love you. God bless you. Have a great 4th of July. Thanks.